Hi, Naktikala here. So as I published this, it's April 6th, which means happy Passover for Jewish people and happy second Easter day for Finns and other people who celebrate Easter with the 4-day weekend like us because of because of Lutheranism. But April 6th is also International Asexuality Day. So I thought, so 5 years ago, I made a video about QPR relationships that ended up coming in 3 parts. So I thought today I would talk a little bit about romantic relationships that ace characters end up in fiction, and maybe if I talk about them enough, we can see if there's some patterns with asexual representation. And of course, I'm just one person. I don't know all the pieces of rep that's out there, and I'm only talking about ones where they are together at the end of the show. So that uh, so that excludes some characters that I could talk about. But so anyway, so also I hit 50 subscribers like a week or so ago. So this is my 50 subscriber special. Yay, 50. So let's start with Todd Chavez. He had a relationship as a teenager who he reconnected with as an adult, but very they have very different sexual needs. He has none, she has a lot, so they didn't work out. Then he tried dating another ace, but the only thing they had in common was the lack of lack of interest in sex, so they didn't work out. But then he finally found Maud, who was perfect for him, and they were very cute ace for ace couple, with Maud also possibly being a romantic. So I'm a big fan of them from BoJack Horseman. Uh, Another example that I want to talk about is Abby Singh with Hannah Moore from The Imperfects on Netflix. Uh, Abby Singh is Ace. It's established in the first episode. Then I think it was in episode 6. Abby tells Hannah who they knew as kids, and they are reconnected because of the plot. Uh, and they have had very cute, like flirty relationship. So before gets anything more serious, Abby tells Hannah that she's Ace, and even though we don't see it, uh, we are told that Hannah reacts perfectly. And towards the end of the season and unfortunately series, we are shown that they are together. So it seems like that is an allo ace relationship where that's monogamous. You know what I mean? They have a close relationship. Examples of open relationships with ace characters. One is Drea Stevens with Matilda, I'm gonna say it Moss, from Everything's Gonna Be Okay. Uh, Drea is a homoromantic asexual. Those are the labels she uses. Matilda's only label that she uses is straight. But if I were to like label her, she would probably something like heterosexual biromantic or maybe even homoromantic. I don't know. But anyway, Matilda only wants to have sex with black men. Andrea doesn't want to have sex with anyone. They are both autistic. So they at one point they had a sexual relationship, but then they both realized they don't want to have sexual relationships with women or with each other, but they still loved each other, so they stayed together. And towards the end of the second season, which is the last season, they got married. And I assume that the marriage stays open, so Matilda can hook up with black men, all the black men she wants. Yeah, that's open relationship. And the kind of inspiration for this is Douglas Cash Pickett and Darren Rivers, from Heartbreak High, the Netflix reboot. Cash is asexual, uh, who's in a relationship with non-binary Darren, and they have a rocky relationship for the first 2 seasons, but then we have a time jump, and for the in the last season they have an open relationship, and we skipped all the development of how they came to that conclusion, how they made it work, but they say that it works, so I don't know. I haven't finished rewatching the first season, and haven't rewatched the second season at all, so I can't say whether that works or not, but like, I don't know, the way they are in season 3, I feel like they are the best they could be. So like, does the open relation, and in some ways their open relationship makes sense, at least some sense, but I'm not sure. I wanna make a full video on Cash at some point. So yeah. Another thing that sometimes you have is that you have a big time jump at the end of the narrative, and and the ace character is shown as being with someone, usually a nameless someone. This is what happens with Elijah on Big Mouth, Netflix. So Elijah dated Missy. I don't know how young those kids are in that show, but he was on season 6 and season 7. But they break up because Missy is very horny and Elijah is not. And then Elijah is also very religious. So they couldn't spend the last summer they had together. So they just broke up. But like there's a fast forward or whatever, and we are shown Elijah with another woman, and he seems to be happy. So good for him. Then another kind of similar ending is in we get the divine with Umar, aka Dionysus, who's asexual but not aromantic. In the last episode, in the last issue, one of the characters has died. Everybody is old, and why can't I find it? Where was it? Oh yeah, was it earlier? I don't know, but anyway, he is shown at the funeral with someone, and he's wearing a wedding ring. Why can't I find that scene? So anyway, good for him. But again, we don't know who this is. So good for them. Then there's Alex Ambrose from Sex Criminals, started in volume 3 all the way until volume 6, and the time jumpy issue 69, because sex. Like in it, we are shown. Are they at the wedding? Yeah, they're at the wedding again. They are, this time they're wedding. That one was funeral. So they had some kind of wedding, and Alex shows up with another main character. I don't know. I should have looked up her name, but anyway, she's a former porn star who got injured, so can't really have a orgasm anymore. So I guess her ending up with the asexual makes sense. I don't know, they have barely any page time before this, and we can't even get any kind of info dump on how did they ended up together, but they did. So that's kind of annoying. Then, as you know, I'm Finnish. I already mentioned Finland earlier. I'm trying to remember, but I think in Finnish fiction with the asexuals, either they end up like happily alone for now, or in a poly situation. Whether or not that poly situation actually makes sense. Although we do have this book, which I absolutely love, and there's lots of aces on different types of situation. Like the 2 main aces, one ends up happy alone, and the other ends up with the like there's a sapphic romance also in this one that's gonna in the back, not in the background. It's very important. But yeah, they break up at the end, but they supposedly possibly get together again. But yeah, that's not much to say about Finnish ace characters. Then let's go talk a little bit about Emma's, kinda. So one of my favorite examples of asexual romance, or well, basically demisexual romance, is Julian Blackthorne and Emma Carstairs. I will not really talk about Julian at some point. But so yeah, they have a very nice development over the course of technically 4 books, and they end up together and they really fought for it, and Julian manages to be very demisexual throughout, which is kind of amazing. Another Emma is this girl. She's by, he is, my silence is because, like, I don't know, the book is confused what he is. Because in some ways, he's written very much like he is somewhere in the age spectrum. Quite specifically feels like he is very demi. And then he, at one point, he, like, declares that he's demisexual. Except we don't know how he came to that conclusion, because he's mostly, I don't know what's going on with me, what my label is. And then, yet later, like 60 pages later, he's like, oh, I don't know, I've always thought that I'm somewhere in the asexual spectrum, but I don't know where. But anyway, they may get together, and she's actually at our ace. Again from Amanda Woody. That's one X's and O's from Amanda Woody. And this is They Hate Each Other, her first book. Neither one of these are ace, but there's an ace side character called Hannah. She's in a she's his best friend, and she's dating his best friend. So they decide to try to fake date, so that partly because so Hannah doesn't have to find another guy that accepts her asexuality. That's kind of the plot of that book. Then I of course have to talk, when it comes to ace romance, I have to talk about Claire Can. These are, so Alice is with Takumi. Winnie is in a QPR, open QPR, with Kara, who's arrow ace. Lucky ends up with Maverick. I have some thoughts on this book that are not very positive, but like, yeah, this is like Hannah, Lucky is vaguely sex positive, but it's kind of weirdly written. But anyway, so yeah, that's one. And this one, the romantic agenda. This one almost have ace for ace. Like Joy has this best friend Malcolm that she's been secretly in love with for like a decade, and Malcolm has kinda also been in love with her, but they never want to like do anything about it. But then they go on a holiday with one of Malcolm's newest girlfriends, and some person in that girlfriend's life, I want to say brother, also comes to the holiday, and then Joy is like, okay, let's try to make Malcolm jealous, so let's start fake date. But then Joy falls for Fox. His name is Fox. Okay, so it's been a couple of years since I read this. But so yeah, so this is this is another Allo Ace romance. With the possibility of ace romance. Except that no, because Malcolm is kind of, it wouldn't be healthy for them to get together. I'm trying to remember if I have anything else to say on this topic. Oh, only thing is, if you on Tumblr, you sometimes know that there was this scam called All or Nothing with Ace roommate and a Pan roommate, and then people say that no one ever made that show. That's not true. People made that show. It's a web series here on YouTube, and it has a so yeah, All or Nothing. It's about speech in college. I can't explain it. But anyway, they did that, and in that one, the Pan roommate first dates some guy, but then she disappears because he gets a breakdown or something, and then the Ace and the former boyfriend, they start bonding, and they eventually end up together. It's pretty well done. The episodes are very short, so you can watch it like in an afternoon. So I can support that. So, oh yeah, Scam France. Uh, it was the main character of season 12, My Legal, ends up in a romantic relationship with a rather allosexual girl, but they make it work. And we are also saw in one of the other ace couples when Mile goes to our ace group meeting, and there's also a couple of other aces in that group. I think that's basically it when it comes to examples of asexual romance. So like there's a third of ace for ace relationships that are actually romantic and not some kind of QPR. Though I understand why you would rather have a QPR. And many of them we don't actually know the details because we are just the ace character just gets paired up at the end. We have a couple of instances of open relationships that are dealt with, and then we are like Claire Grant's work and Abby Singh are ones where the ace character is explicitly shown as that you don't have to change. Like the sex thing is like it's not a deal breaker. I don't know what this. So yeah, we have we have examples of different types of relationships, but not really enough. And so yeah, this is very rambly. I was kind of thinking of doing like a PowerPoint presentation about this, uh, but I didn't have time because of Easter. So yeah, if you are looking for examples of ace romance, here are some you might want to check out. So bye, happy Ace Day and Easter and Passover. Bye.